Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, getting over an email that was sent from a subscriber. And this email, guys, this is all about a guy. He's about 25 years old. He's from the Bahamas. And he shares his story about how when he left the Bahamas to go away to college in Canada, he met this girl. And even though this guy was the type of guy who, pretty much the way he describes it, was a ladies' man, good-looking guy, cool, strong, had no problem getting women, he met this one girl and did what so many guys do when they meet this girl that just makes them crazy and they think that she's the one. He goes from being the type of guy that you all want to be to being completely pee-whipped and makes all the mistakes that I tell you guys so many times in different videos not to do. And he obviously found my channel and channels like mine, obviously, after he made these mistakes. And so I'm going to go through this guy's story, guys. And he definitely acts weak in so many ways. And you're going to see this. But what's cool, and what I really respect about this guy, is that he knows where he screwed up. And he openly admits it. And you're going to see also with this girl how she just really treats him like crap. And he takes it. And ultimately, things will end where him coming out on top and getting back to the way he used to be. But he learned an extremely valuable lesson. So he wanted me to go over his story to help a lot of guys out. And by the way, guys, like I said, there's a lot of lessons in this story. In particular, that I talk about all the time. In particular, about the problems when you move in with your girlfriend. I tell you not to do that unless you actually, if you're going to get married, which in 2021, I don't recommend at all anymore. But if you're going to do it, then that is the only reason to move in with your girl, just to see as a test run to see what she's like. And believe me, once again, I've done other stories where it's proven true. Otherwise, no need to move in with her. You're inviting a lot of drama. Number 2, never put a girl on a pedestal. Number 3, you don't take her crap and act weak. And you're going to see what happens why. Number 4, always watch out for a girl's friends when they want to try to stab you in the back. And number 5, thinking that she'll take care of you when times are tough. Okay, all these very important lessons. So this is a good one, guys. So hang back and listen to this story. It'll definitely help some of you guys out that may be in a bad situation, or to help you avoid some bad situations. And obviously, this video is more targeted towards the relationship guys that follow me. So it starts off. He says, "Good day, man. I'm the guy that left the comment on the video you dropped recently. So where do I start? Well, I'm a 25-year-old male, and a few years ago, in 2017, I made the jump to leave my country, the Bahamas, and went to Canada to pursue my education." Damn, you left the Bahamas for Canada? I mean, Canada's pretty cool and everything, but the Bahamas? I was in the Bahamas for New Year's a few years ago. It was badass. Anyway, he says, "Initially, I didn't plan on getting into a relationship, especially until I was completely finished college. Things were going okay until the following year, 2018, and I met this complete baddie. Slim waist, beautiful face, thick thighs, smooth caramel skin, and an ass out of this world. I was in love and pursued her immediately." So boom. Even though this guy gets lots of girls, you're going to see, he meets this one who he thinks is just amazing for him, and just right here, the way he describes it, just all of a sudden, boom. And that, I don't think there's a guy watching this anywhere in the world that hasn't happened to at least once. And we completely stopped being the guys we were and learned the hard way, as he did. He says, "I'm a tall, dark, handsome guy, as I'm told by a lot of ladies. I'm humble, so it makes me very, very uncomfortable hyping myself up like this, but it was and still is the opinion of a lot of ladies. And as well as I played on the football team. So that automatically got me in the door. Honestly, it didn't take any work at all, and I got her right away. It didn't start off like a relationship. At first, we just slept around and had tons of fun. In other words, it was casual. And honestly, being college, where you're there to focus on your education, your purpose, not relationships, you should have kept it at that. But unfortunately, this guy buys into what you see portrayed in movies and television and find that amazing girl, and fireworks are going to go off and it's going to be happily ever after. Wrong. He says, "Things were going well until, of course, that time came and she asked, 'Where are we?' I held off for as long as I could have, but of course I had to come to a decision. But before I did, I thought back on all the conversations we had and strongly felt like this lady was genuine, and based on the things we've both been through in our lives, I thought this lady and I could relate and possibly grow with. Translation, you thought she was the one. Now, notice how she's the one that brought up the conversation of where are we. For you relationship guys, I want to point this out. You always want your lady, your girl, the girl you're dating, to be the one to bring this subject up. A lot of guys nowadays, thanks to the conditioning of movies and television, when they always show guys pursuing women, to bring up the where are we going, where's this headed, that type of talk, and it's completely out of whack. Okay, the woman should be bringing that up. Meanwhile, the guy should just keep doing what you're doing. And believe me, if she's not bringing it up, then obviously she's not there yet. So for you relationship guys, you know my opinion on these things, but still I'm just trying to help everybody out because I have a lot of people that watch me. Let her bring it up. Otherwise, just keep having fun. It puts you in a good place because if you bring it up and she's not ready, she'll dump your ass. He says, I'll be honest, for practically all my life, I viewed myself as a relationship guy because my parents been married my whole life and are still married. He says, and I've seen how to treat a lady and how to command respect because my old man is the ultimate authoritarian and my mother respects this man to the full extent. Well, that's awesome. She is extremely submissive and feminine. So growing up, my old man molded me to be a strong, successful male like yourself, LOL. Yeah, he had a good family life, which is awesome. And he could see his dad was a guy who took charge. And his mom obviously really loved him and was feminine and submissive. And so this guy obviously was this way as well until he met this chick. He says, but man, all that shit he taught me went right out the window. I was always the guy that had girls in their place and commanded respect with, and he says in giant letters, every single girl. I even been I've ever been with until this lady. I admit she completely threw me off my game because I thought this is the best as it will ever get for me. Dude, you're in your 20s. You just begun life. You got plenty more great things, but again, the end-all be-all of human existence isn't some piece of ass. But you were young, and obviously you know this, but I'm pointing this out, and so also for a lot of young guys that watch me that, you listen to what I say, and you're definitely mindful and careful, but obviously you're relationship guys. It's just one chick. It's not worth changing who you are about. It's not worth going off your purpose and all that, okay? There are always plenty of options out there. He says, like, I had to keep this lady in my life. So one of my closest friends who had went to the school a few years before me and graduated the same time as this girl, he says, she had graduated the same year I came to Canada for school. By the way, she was already done when I started. He told me not to do it. He literally begged me not to, but damn, is love blinding? And I said, dude, I'm a man and I will take this jump because I thought she was just perfect. So I did. There is no such thing as a perfect woman. And honestly, there's no such thing as a perfect man. But this is the honeymoon period. All right, where everything's perfect and magical and all that until real life situations come your way. And that's when you see a person's true character, as he's going to see. Now, don't get me wrong. As I've told in the beginning of the story, this guy screws up a lot. And you can already see it because he's already putting her on a pedestal and eventually treats her that way. It says, things went very well at first, and I thought I hit the jackpot. Fast forward to March 2019, and I started to fall on hard times a bit. Aha, hard times, reality. So let's see how she is now that real life situations confront this guy. He said, I was working and paying for school as well as receiving some money from my parents to help out. I had to leave my apartment because I wasn't making rent, so of course I asked my girl to move in because I had nowhere to stay. Dude, big mistake moving with your girl, especially when you obviously have some money problems, okay? You don't want her to be the one to help pay the bills because that's where problems can arise because she doesn't want to take care of a guy, even though that's what they show in movies and TV, and the feminist movement says, hey, a woman can take care of her guy, no problem. They don't want to do that. They want the man to be the man and take care of business, even though you would think that a loving, caring girlfriend would try to help out. Nope. They want their man to take care of things. And them, I might add. And why don't you stay with one of your bros? He says, things went well to start, and I came in and basically restored order in the place where she was staying with her best friend from hell. So you didn't just move in with her, you moved in with her and either her other friend. I'm sure that was popular. Over time, that best friend actually grew to resent me a bit because eventually she claimed that I came in and bossed everyone around when all I was doing was making sure things went smoothly. So she orchestrated a plan to fake as this random girl and started messaging my girl from her burner phone and made it seem like I was messing around. So this girl doesn't like you, the roommate, and so she gets a fake phone and fake number and pretends that she's some other girl telling your girl that you're messing around, stirring up drama and bullshit. Guys, I've told you many times, watch out for your girl's friends, okay? If they don't like you, if they don't like the fact that their girl is in a relationship and happy, they're going to try to screw things up. If they're unhappy and not where they want to be, they can. Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm not going to say they all do that, but they can cause a lot of problems and drama like you got here. He says, I was not a cheater because I grew up in a nuclear family where I never saw that and was taught not to be that guy. So, of course, I was irate. A message to the younger guys out there, man, never move in with your girl because she will lose some respect for you. Exactly. You move in with her, all of a sudden now that mysterious guy that you once were, where she never knew where you were up to, never knew who you were with, never knew when she was going to see you again, is gone. Now you're with her all the time. And she's going to not be that same girl. Because all of a sudden she's now, when you would always see her and she looked great, now she's there in those 5-year-old sweatpants and her hair sticking up straight like the Bride of Frankenstein, and without the makeup, amongst many other things that can go wrong. He says, even though I was a college guy and my income wasn't as much as it should be, and he says, and listen to this, he says, I might add that international students in Canada are only allowed to work up to 20 hours a week while studying. You can Google it. So, which I think is ridiculous, but so many things about Canada's laws are ridiculous. So he could only make so much money to take care of things. Keep that in mind. So that whole situation happened, and I came home one day, and my things were all out on the porch, and I mean all my things. She packed up all his shit and threw it out on the porch. Drama, drama, drama. Meanwhile, this guy's in school, supposed to be on his purpose, focusing on doing well so he can do well in life, and he's got to deal with this horse shit. See, guys? That girl sabotaged me so bad that my girl had the nerve to kick me out of the place and just leave me out dry. I had to gather my shit and walk them to my boy's house, the one who advised me not to be with her. You should have listened to your friend. And of course, he yelled and cussed at me for not listening. About 3 days later, I went to her job, and when she got off work, and I convinced her that this was true because the story didn't add up to the timeline of my whereabouts. So you had to go and do all this. She couldn't just prove your word, listen to your word. She had to listen to her friend and all this bullshit, and some random person that messaged her, and she believed it. And instead of trusting you because you thought things were so great. But the second she gets this information from somebody else, boom, she's throwing your stuff out the door. That's when you should have left permanently. That definitely really shows the beginning of her character. But this guy goes back for more. We worked things out and things got better again. That was red flag number 1. Fast forward to the fall of 2019, entering my last year of school. And he says, by the way, I only did 3 years because I already completed a year at my local college here in the Bahamas and transferred my credits. The same thing happened again, and the fiend tried to sabotage me again. So the friend didn't work the first time, she's going to do it a second time. This guy should have just gotten out of the situation, just realized it wasn't good. There's going to be drama with the friends, which happened again, as you can see here. She threw your stuff out without really talking to you about the situation, amongst other things. That's just not good. The problem was this guy thought she was the one and obviously got weak. I guarantee you, like, this guy's probably listening to this right now and just wishing he could have jumped back into his younger body and or just went back in time and just slapped his younger self, slapped some sense into him to not do these things. But this, guys, this is how you learn. And this guy's humble. He knows he's screwed up. But again, the timeline of the events in question didn't add up because the time she accused me of being with the other woman, I'd be at football practice those days, and my girl knew this, so she grew suspicious as well. So eventually she found out that it was her friend, and within a week, we were out of that place and in a place of our own. I thought things would be great, but boy, were they not. In November 2019, she paid for a new place, and we had devised a plan to where I would just help out with the rent until I graduate and get a real job. Big mistake. That sounded all fine and dandy in the beginning where, okay, because she's out of school, she'll take care of the majority of the bills, and I'll help out when I can until I graduate. Yeah, that sounds all great until the fact that the emotion of the moment you moving in together goes away, and she then hates the fact and resents you because even though she knows logically you can only work 20 hours a week because of the Canadian laws for international students, and you only had so much money to bring in, even though she knows that logically, emotionally, she still doesn't want to have to take care of you. Okay, it's ridiculous. Okay, men can separate the two, women can't. Okay, and so you're just unfortunately inviting a lot of shit. They don't want to take care of it. They want a guy to find a way. That's just how they are. Okay. It continues. So things like that. So things like they always did start off well, but unfortunately, I could see and feel a bit of resentment being built up for her, and of course, it was over finances. Finances are one of the biggest areas that couples fight about. All right. Every time an argument would take place over this, I would literally fight hard for her not to leave by assuring her that I have only a few months left in school and to please be patient. It would work, but it would be harder and harder every time she brought it up and tried to resolve it. So she wanted to have it where she brings in her money, you bring in hers, or preferably you bring in more money than her, but she's taking care of you. It's not natural. Women don't want to take care of a guy, particularly a feminine woman, okay? The only type of women that will actually may remotely be okay with this are the masculine ones, the more effeminist type of ones where they want to feel like they're in charge. But a typical feminine woman doesn't want to take care of her guy. She wants to be taken care of. And as a result, what happens is that these women that are feminine women, when they feel like their guy is acting weak and their guy is not stepping up, they then have to become masculine to take care of things. They can't trust the guy to take care of things, so they become more and more into their masculine, and they hate that. They get pissed off, and that's why they get bitchy and start fights and arguments, which is exactly what this guy's going through. So, believe me, don't get me wrong here. She's a pain in the ass because she's the one that said, hey, no problem. We'll move in together and I'll take care of the majority of things. That's what I'm reading between the lines here. But meanwhile, that's not exactly how things worked out. So she said one thing but meant another. But duh, that's how they operate. So, but also this guy, even though his options were limited still, she wanted him to find a way to be the man and take care of things. So never buy into this crap, guys. You relationship guys, that she can take care of the majority of the bills and everything's going to be great and she's still going to see you as that same man and respect you and want you and continuously want to hook up with you. No, it's got to turn her off. Okay? It says, the lesson I learned from this is that women are simply not designed to support and man, not even for a little bit. So we as men need to prioritize getting our shit together if we're going to entertain a relationship. Exactly. He knows this. Well, at least he learned this. Now, this gets even worse as time goes on. So again, during the next few months, he would always make little hints about me not contributing enough and me being a loser who has to have this girl help him out. What a bitch. It was her idea. She said it was okay that she could take care of things, and now she's dropping hints, as you call him, and these jabs, and calling him a loser. My friend, that is the moment when you should have, there's a lot of things you should not have done, but that was the moment right then and there when she started doing that you freaking just confronted her and said, look, this was your idea. I'm doing the best I can. I got a few more months till school's over, and that's it. But you're not going to talk to me this way. You're not going to treat me this way. Otherwise, we're done. I'm out of here. I would rather sleep under a bridge. I'd rather sleep at the bus station than have to be here and have you talk down to me like that. Cut the shit. You make your choice right now. And of course, probably if she was being a bitch, it would be like, fine, F you. And you leave. But then you don't come back. Okay? You should never, no matter how bad it gets, tolerate disrespect. Because that's going to make them disrespect you more. They don't want a weak guy. And so women will act bitchy and rude, and they want the guy to stand up to them. Okay? The feminine ones. She called him a loser, blah, blah, blah. I mean, she had all her friends and coworkers looking at me sideways, thinking I was this bum who made her do all the work. Again, I remind you, I was in college and only had a few months away from graduation. See? Fast forward to March 2020, when the pandemic really hit. I was now out of work and really broke, struggling to even meet the amount we agreed upon to keep the rent going. This is when things really went out of left field. She would be gone out of the house for like 2 hours and wouldn't say anything to me. I was so in love, I just wanted to do anything not to piss her off, and I actually felt like I had no grounds to say anything because I didn't feel like a man. I didn't feel like a man, and she was handling most of the bills. Yeah, you didn't feel like a man, and your feelings were right. Now, I get you were doing what you had to do, and obviously because of COVID hit Canada, and Canada went freaking psycho about locking everybody up. But you did what you could do, but she was just treating you like complete crap and dissing you in front of your friends. You should have left. End of story. And he said here, I didn't want to piss her off. Guys, that is the big fear that so many guys have in relationships, that they convince themselves they're so attached to this girl that when she's disrespecting them, they don't want to say anything to rock the boat, to piss her off. Meanwhile, the type of guy that she fell for initially was the type of guy that would rock the boat and would stand up to her. But when you get all pee-whipped, so many guys don't call her out on her crap. All right? And so you can't do that. For you relationship guys out there, this is a perfect example. And you can see here, and I'm right, that it got worse and worse and worse. Until finally you'll see what happens. Over the next few months, she emasculated me and talked down to me, and I just let her, man. Completely defying all the things my old man taught me. I commanded no more respect and basically turned into her son. I rarely got any from her. As she stated, she lost her sexual drive for me. She lost her sexual drive because the roles were reversed. She was feeling like the man in the relationship, and she thought of you as the woman. Okay, you didn't stand up for yourself. She treated you like shit, and you put up with it. So of course she wasn't attracted to you. Okay. I'm being honest here. This wouldn't be a very good channel if I just agreed with the guys all the time and said, oh, the women are the ones that are screwing up. Because guys mess up too, and this guy messed up, but he knows this. Okay, so I'm saying this to make sure you relationship type of guys are following don't get in the same situation. That's exactly what happened. When they feel like they're becoming the man in the relationship and they don't want to be, they get bitchy and start fights and drama and all things until the guy lays down the law. He stands up for himself and turns things around. I always kept myself in shape so that would get her going from time to time, but I completely turned into her little bitch. See, he can admit this. I respect that because a lot of guys wouldn't. Then one day I went to spend some time with my homie and was gone most of the day. I came home and all the shit was gone and she basically left me there alone. How many of you guys saw that coming? When I was first reading this, I saw it coming a mile away. She was bitchy and fights and arguments and hardly any hooking up. And it was only a matter of time before, boom, she's out of there. I came home and all the shit was gone and she basically left me there alone. Broke and without a job and not even graduated as of yet. I was left to make it on my own without the girl that I thought loved me. Well, she probably did love you in the beginning, but as you, in her eyes, stopped being a man and putting up with all her shit, that love went right out the door. Remember, guys, love is conditional. Love is conditional that your ass has a job. Love is conditional that you can provide and be that same guy that she was initially attracted to. When you stop doing that, they're going to get pissed off and bitchy, like she was, disrespect you, and keep doing it until you either stand up for yourself and put her in her place, or you get your shit together in her view. But love, women do not love the same way as a guy do. A guy can actually really love. You know, a girl's love is conditional. What they really love in the beginning is the chase, the validation, the chasing your validation. The in love thing, believe me, and a lot of guys can watch this and say, well, that's not true because my girl loves me, and through hard times, and when my dad lost his job, my mom still stayed with him, and so on and so on and so on. But yeah, because probably your dad was working hard to find his job and trying to turn things around, okay? Or your girl, you were trying your best, and she could see it and quickly turn things around. That's why. But if you don't have a job, if you don't find a way to make the bills, believe me, in time, and she's dependent on your support, your help, she's going to be out of there. And she'll be bitchy up until she finally leaves. He says, I didn't crumble, though. I graduated, and I hurried and found a job, worked my ass off to make rent, and the next time it was due. I started to make things work because now I graduated and was able to work more than 20 hours a week, so I was making rent no problem after a few months. See, the second he graduated and legally he could work more, he was able to bring in more money and quickly turn shit around. That was what he was telling her all along, but that didn't matter because her emotions were running her system. Okay, she wasn't working on logic. A guy could listen and say, okay, in 3 months I'll be graduated and money will come in, no problem, right? That's how we operate. For them, the emotions, you know. But you know what? He honestly should have been doing cartwheels when she left because she did him a favor and got this pain in the ass out of his life so he can go back to being the guy he was. Now listen to this. This is going to not surprise any of you. She eventually reached back out to me a few months later and we kind of started hitting it off again. Kind of started hitting it off again. Translation, she found out that you obviously got a job and you got your shit together and now she's back because you can now take care of things financially. And you're obviously back hooking up with her. I would have had nothing to do with her after this. But you were young, your emotions were raw, so, you know. But one day, she just posted another guy, and boom, I knew it was over. This was December 2020. So, again, she dropped you like that. Should have gone back to her. You learned a hard lesson with this one, but a very good one. Now, here in August 2021, she literally recently got married last month. Oh, I pity the dumbass that married her. I pity that guy because the second, God forbid, the guy she married loses his job, the same thing's going to happen. She's going to act bitchy and insulting and rude and emasculating, and he'll probably take it, and then she'll eventually leave his ass. Guaranteed. Because she's the type that when things don't go well, lose it. She can be cool up until things don't go well in her mind, and then boom. No loyalty, no support, nothing. Man, that left a scar on me, and that maybe that can't go away. I don't have the ability to trust women ever again, to be honest, and don't see myself getting married anymore. Well, brother, you don't want to get married. Not how things are nowadays. I don't know how things are in your country, the Bahamas, but I'm going to probably guess they're kind of the same thing here with the marriage laws and all. You don't need it. And you kind of had a mini marriage there, and you saw firsthand what happens when the woman, you're not supporting her. You're not paying the bills. You're not doing your part. Or when you act weak and put her on a pedestal. Right there. You don't need it. Just recently, I started to get back to working out again and started dating and pulling chicks that actually kill my ex in terms of looks and overall character. Well, good for you. And have a good time doing it. And notice he's getting better looking girls and better looking girls who are cooler than her and all that. Good. This was pretty long, but this just goes to show that we as men need to be strong in who we are, always command respect, never let a woman disrespect you no matter what the situation is, and never move in with your girl. That will not go over well at all. Always keep being great. Peace. Right there. He said it all. Always stay strong, never let her emasculate you, don't move in with your girl, all that type of stuff. Focus on your purpose. Exactly. So like I said, guys, in the beginning, what I like about this guy is he's humble. He knows he's screwed up, and he's willing to share his story and take, obviously, some jabs from guys on YouTube for his mistakes because he wants to help other guys out. So for you relationship guys, this was a good one for you. I hope you watched the whole thing to show you that all these mistakes I said in the beginning to watch out for, the crazy friends, moving in with your girl, kissing her ass and putting her up on a pedestal, all these different things. I probably left one out, but you can go back and see it. You see what I'm talking about. I warn you guys about these things all the times through the different articles and stories and personal stories like this I go over. And it's just the same thing all the time. And so I hope for a lot of you guys that watch me regularly, this just gets really pounded into your head so you don't make these same mistakes. And again, this is for you relationship types. But anyhow, ultimately, the guy learned a major lesson, got his shit back together, and he's doing great. And I guarantee he's not going to make these same mistakes again ever. So, but anyhow, great story, man. I really appreciate you sharing this. I'm glad you're doing well now and wish you the best. So, but all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.